My brothers and sisters, the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered all over the globe, welcome back. This is your Moreh Yeshua ben Uriah Israel, and we just want to take this moment to thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your likes and your comments. And I pray and trust that as we continue that you will tell your friends and your loved ones, encourage them to be a part of this ministry. You know, we'd like for them to like, to subscribe, and to comment. And as I've said before, we're trying to reach a thousand, at least 1,000 subscriptions, and we are under 200 in getting there. And so we can go live, and we can, discuss more information, give us more time to concentrate. So I just want to encourage you to do that, okay? So we are going to continue with the 15-minute sessions until we're able to get there, but we are encouraging you to do that. Now, in our last segment, before we did the Shabbat meditation, we talk about the lost and found legacy. Now, we've had a lot of people, saying, we are done away with. They said, our ancestors rejected Yeshua. So our time has come and gone, and so now is the Gentiles' time. Now, I want you to know this. I want you to know this. That when Yeshua was in his earthly ministry, and Yeshua got the people together that he wanted, the apostles or the disciples, he got them together. Right? They started following him, and he started teaching them. And the 3 to 3.5 year span of his earthly ministry, Yeshua focused on the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And we're going to look at the word in Matthew chapter 10. I want to look in Matthew chapter 10. And we're going to focus on verse 6. But we want to read from verses 1 through 5 and let you hear and see there. Because what happened today is the focus of reaching people for the kingdom. The focus is on reaching the Gentiles first. I don't hear anybody talking about reaching the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now, there are some people down in Israel, some Americans and British people, and they're down there witnessing to the group of people they call themselves Jews. They are not of Israel. They are Gentiles that have been converted to Judaism, to the religion Judaism. And the focus is there in Israel, trying to convert them. So we have what we call the Messianic people who receive Yeshua, or Jesus. They refer to Jesus. They're not referring to, the Messianic people call him Yeshua, but the missionaries and them don't call him Jesus. Okay. They're ministering to the people down there and think that they are of the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They're wrong. They got it wrong. So what they need to do is to say they're ministering to the Gentiles. But they're saying they're ministering to the Jews, to Israel. No. Yeshua began giving instruction about what he wants his 12 hand-picked apostles, that we refer to as disciples, to do when he sent them out on their own. Matthew chapter 10, verses 1 through 4. He began by defining where they should not go. Where they should not go. He began to say to them, don't go to any Gentiles, areas, or Samaritan town. Remember the people in Samaria? The Samaritans were mixed people, right? They were Hebrew people that were mixed with Gentiles nation, people who came over when the northern kingdom was taken into Assyria. They sent their people over to occupy the land. And some of them began to take unto themselves, things what the priests and all they would do. They start acting like they were original people. Some of them start getting sick and dying. And so they send back, to Assyria and ask them to send men back, just to come show them how to worship Yahuwah. So it was funny. But listen what he said. He said, he began by defining where they should not go, my brothers, my sisters. And he said, they shouldn't go to any Gentile areas or Samaritan towns. In Matthew chapter 10, verse 5, he said, instead, Yeshua said, he is sending his representative to the lost sheep of Israel. I want you to notice that. He sent them to the lost sheep of Israel. At the end of the previous chapter, chapter 9, Matthew 20 described Yeshua as feeling compassion for the people as he looked out over the crowd. Because he said, Yeshua saw that they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. My brothers, those are the lost sheep Yeshua is sending his disciples to reach in, with the good news of the Messiah and the kingdom of heaven. So don't allow anybody to fool you and to let you feel like, our responsibility is to reach the Gentiles. Yes, he said first you go. He did not say don't go, because in you go see in Romans where he said after they take the gospel and the good news to the lost sheep of Israel, of the house of Israel, then they can go. But in saying this, Yeshua was directing the good news to all the people of Israel, not just to some. Yahuwah's plan was that the good news, my brothers and sisters, that the good news of Yeshua would first be preached to the Israelites, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They were the Israelites. And then, my brothers, my sisters, and then later to the rest of the nations, like in Romans chapter 1, verse 16. where he talks about, the power of the gospel and as we preach to all the nations and so on. But my brothers and my sisters, Yahweh was directing. He was directing the disciples. You first go. He said in Matthew chapter 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Those are the people that Yeshua was sent to. Today, the big thing about it, in the church, the church have no inclination about what the gospel is supposed to be. All they want to do is to reach Gentiles. That's all they focus on, reaching the Gentiles. Yes, we must reach them, but first of all, we are going to reach the people that Yeshua came to first. They are, my brothers and my sisters, the title of this channel, The Journey Back to Abaya. That's the title, right? The Journey Back to Abaya. Our responsibilities, my brothers and my sisters, our responsibilities are to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They are our people, and this is what this channel is designed for, to reach out. Where are they? My brothers and my sisters, where are the lost sheep of the house of Israel? Some of them are in West Africa still, South Africa. Some of them are in Europe. Some of them are in Asia. Some of them are in the Caribbean. Some of them are in North America. Okay? And North America includes the United States and Canada. Now, there are other islands, the Samoa Islands and, the Solomon Island and Australia and different places. They are scattered all over the globe. So this message of reaching them, trying to encourage them to understand the plight, understand that what the world has said about them being rejected and being thrown away is not true. We are to spread the news and get our Hebrew Israelite people back into a relationship with Yahweh. We talk about revival. Our hearts, my brothers and my sisters, if we are revival and awakened to what Yahweh is saying to us, this revival is going to start in our hearts. And we're going to yearn, we're going to pray, we're going to have compassion upon the lost house or the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We got to. We have no other choice, my brothers and my sisters. We have no other choice. We have to reach out. We have to tell the news. We have to share it. We have to tell the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We have to help them to be awakened. Those of us who are awakened, we are not to stay silent. We have to stay busy. My brothers and my sisters, My time is gone. But remember, Yeshua sent us to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. It is your responsibility. Those of us who are awakened, it's our responsibility. Please, do not keep this to yourself. Share it. The time is gone. And I want to say, walk with the King today. Be a blessing. Shalom.